Hello, my little piggies. Welcome to I Am a Bit of an Expert at Peppa Pig podcast. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and joining me over the other end of the line, live from Adelaide, as always, it's my co-host, Matt Frost. Hello, Matt.
Good evening, Josh. How are you?
Good. That was a bit of a long intro. I was sort of stretched that one out a little bit. It was like a proper, like we're waiting, like you're at the back of the room and waiting for you to get onto stage. Like just like keep vamping. He's halfway down he's working his way through the audience. He's high-fiving the audience as he comes down.
I was watching you turn red. I was like, breathe, Josh, breathe.
Yeah. Like, do that. You know, kids do tantrums and they run out of breath and they go. I've seen that a few times.
Oh no, my kids don't do tantrums, mate.
Wow. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So today, it's Mummy Pig's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mummy Pig.
Happy birthday, Mummy Pig. So we'll go into the finer details of this one, but I think this is the first birthday that anybody's had in the Peppa verse. I don't think we've touched on anybody else's birthdays. We've only 20-something episodes in. It wouldn't be that hard to find out whether we've gone over it, but I'm 99% sure this is the first birthday episode that we've done. And so it's pretty obvious what goes down this episode, Matt, but give us the lowdown anyway.
Well, this is definitely the standard mother's birthday, and it just turns out that it's the lovely Mummy Pig. She gets breakfast in bed made by Daddy Pig, and then she has to spend quite an arduous amount of time out of the room while the kids and Daddy Pig prepare her celebration for her. Yeah,
that did ring quite true. So just go back to breakfast in bed. It looks like Daddy Pig's got her a croissant and a cup of tea or coffee, with a nice rose there. I mean, have you ever been? I've never actually been served breakfast in bed. I think my kids are obviously a little bit too little for that. Have you ever been served breakfast in bed by your kids?
Yeah, look, I have. We do. It's probably made by my Mummy Pig. But we tend to do that for the Mother's Day and Father's Day. So,
is it actually easy to eat breakfast?
No, it's incredibly uncomfortable.
Unless you've got like a real stable table. I know that Daddy Pig's kind of brought in a tray, but I always remember the stable tables. You know, they had the sort of the beanie sort of beanbaggy under where you could sort of shift the weight a little bit. I always feel like I'd be dropping my eggs and bacon or all over my sheets.
Yeah, It reminds me of being in hospital more than anything. It's no, it's not my favourite, but you push through because it makes kids happy.
Yeah.
It's I don't even like, on Sundays sometimes we eat in the lounge room and the kids love it, but I always sit at the table. I'm very much you
like your plate right in front of you, and you being able to have your elbows up with your knife and fork.
It works. It's
I just get I get particular about especially when it comes to like eggs and bacon. I'm not ashamed to say I'll send eggs back if they're overdone and things like that. I feel like if I'm getting some sort of kid cooked eggs and bacon, cold toast, and I'd have to sort of chomp it down with a grin, going, the eggs are hard and cold and the toast is cold and the bacon's chewy and. Yeah, I obviously I wouldn't break the little hearts, but
I think
find that hard, difficult.
Next time I'm over in Melbourne, I want to go out to breakfast with you, just in the hope that you demand your eggs to be redone.
I think that's only a thing that you get when you get a bit older, because you're so self-conscious. But I have sent eggs back, a couple of times that have been overcooked, but it has to be pretty badly overcooked. It sounds like I'm a monster, but. We've got a cafe culture to uphold here in Melbourne, mate. There'd have to be standards. Otherwise, It's chaos.
I think if you go far enough back in my family's history, we have a coat of arms with Latin for "Do not make a fuss." So yeah, I'd probably you wouldn't want to know what I'd sit there and eat. Just not to make a fuss. Yeah.
Not to make a fuss. Wow. Well, if you do come out to breakfast with me, I'll make sure that I'll see how far they can push it, the other way.
But it's funny. Like Karina's family does not have that motto at all, and but even fuss being made around me makes me incredibly uncomfortable. So,
Anxious. You're like, oh my
yeah.
god.
Oh my god.
What if the police come?
Yeah. The fuss police.
What if the whoop whoop? It's the sound of the fuss police.
I feel the weight of my ancestors' glare on me as like, you
Just
married
very
a fusser.
disappointed. Yeah. It's like the Montagues and the Capulets. So Mummy Pig's very chuffed with her breakfast in bed. The kids run downstairs, and to Daddy Pig's credit, he, whether it's been the night before or he's gotten up early, he's made this mother of a chocolate cake.
Yeah, look, I'm not a baker. I'm quite a keen cook, but I'm not a baker. So, yeah, this is just another occasion where Daddy Pig just sets that bar just a little bit high for some of us other dads. But
yeah. Well, it's a monster. It's as big as Daddy Pig's head, just about, and it looks like it's a double banger, like a sponge. It looks like it's a chocolate sponge.
Yeah,
it's got the sort of the creamy middle, and does look quite impressive. And it's very true of the Mummy Pig. Sticks her head in the door. What's going on here? And the kids tell her to go wait in the other room. And the funny thing is that I was watching this episode before, to get prepared, and Kat, my partner, was sitting on the couch as well, and she was fancying herself for her own little Peppa Pig critiquer as well. I think she wanted to get in on the action. She's trying to Yoko Ono her way into the band, I think. And she just goes, "What's with that huge stereo that's in their room that I've never noticed before?"
I know, that's called a plot device. So
yeah.
I don't like the Yoko Ono comparison, because I would very much like to get your partner Kat on the podcast now that she's become a mummy pig for the second time. I think it's.
Yeah, I know. She has been on my Star Wars podcast, and that was one of our most popular episodes. So really, I probably should be, trying to bring a little diversity onto the mic.
Well, I do believe that one of the first things she said on your Star Wars podcast was, "I'd rather be on the Peppa Pig podcast." So.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Not surprising. I made her sit there for an hour and talk about Star Wars. So Mummy Pig gets put into the lounge. They chuck the humongous stereo on, and then they go back into the kitchen, and the question on everybody's lips is basically, how old is Mummy Pig? Now, there are 3 candles here, and there is a quite good little gag where Daddy Pig whispers how old Mummy Pig is to Peppa, and she goes, "Ooh, that old," or "Ooh, that's old." And then he does settle on the 3 candles. So can we safely say that Mummy Pig is turning 30? Does that seem like an accurate? Is that how old you sort of pictured them?
Yeah, I pictured them in early 30s. Yeah, early 30s.
I didn't think they were having kids in their early 20s. I thought they'd be out seeing the world. We've established they were probably travelers or backpackers, and
Well, we know that Daddy Pig's either an architect or a civil engineer. So I'm going to say that they didn't have, and I reckon, I think that Mummy Pig has a degree too.
Yep.
And so I don't reckon they would have had kids before they left Pigiversity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's Peppa? Peppa's what, 4 or 5?
4, I think she's.
Yeah,
I think 4 is supposed to be, but
yeah, 4 and 2 I've always pictured them as.
Yep.
So I reckon very early 30s, and I reckon they're high school sweethearts. So I reckon they're the same age.
Yep. So,
and I think I've just given more thought to Mummy and Daddy Pig's relationship than the actual creators ever did.
I don't know. I like to think that this is all, they sit in a room till, all night till 4 a.m. till they crack it, till they get the joke, and then they all go home very satisfied. They put a hard day's work in. So then basically, Mummy Pig, her curiosity, she's basically kind of teasing them. She knows that they're not quite ready, and then so they kick her out. They put her outside to wait while they get the room ready. And there is quite a funny gag of Mummy Pig just sort of still standing outside longer than she probably needs to while they get the balloons and things ready. And then Granny and Grandpa Pig turn up. And the funny thing about this is, that it never really occurred to me, is that I know that that's Mummy Pig is Mummy Pig, but her parents call her Mummy Pig.
Yeah. There's another very successful show along the same lines as Pepper that we won't mention. That the parents are actually named, not just Mummy and Daddy. But I don't think Pepper and George's parents, we don't ever hear their Christian names, do we?
No, maybe it's not spoken about. Maybe once you're a mummy and a daddy, you have to give up your name. Maybe that's you're no longer who you were.
Well, you certainly give up a hell of a lot of other things, so I'm not surprised if you give up your first name as well.
You cannot speak that. And then I get maybe by default, then if you're a mummy pig, but then your daughter becomes a mummy pig, you instantly become a granny pig.
Granny pig.
It's out of your hands.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it works there.
Yeah. Our granddad pig has really taken on that personality now that he sort of continues on. Have you noticed that in this episode? He's got his voice. The voice actors really found the voice that granddad pig.
He's a bit
has.
looser.
Yeah, he's a favourite of mine. I just love that slightly pompous. Sort of voice. I think it's fantastic. So I did.
And the funny thing being that he's actually Mummy Pig's father and not Daddy Pig's. And Daddy Pig's the kind of the pompous one out of the other two. But
perhaps all pigs are pompous in this universe.
Yeah, maybe they're just the superior race. But at least they think they are. They don't want to. They look down on everybody else slightly.
Well, pigs are very intelligent, but there are elephants in this show too, and wolves. That's right. So,
no dolphins though.
No dolphin yet.
Yeah. We haven't seen Deirdre Dolphin or whoever it's going to be. So Mummy Pig finally gets to go inside. The lights come on. Happy birthday, Mummy Pig. She gets to blow out the candles, and then she gets a lovely present, and she gets a beautiful sparkly dress.
It's a very elegant dress. She puts it on over her other dress though, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, obviously they've compensated for that. Maybe she was still in her nightie outside. She's been sleeping in her nightie. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and no, she was in something different. I just went back and checked. Now there's a great move here from Daddy Pig.
Oh,
so yes. Mummy Pig puts on the dress, and this relates right back to something we were talking about a few weeks ago. Mummy Pig puts on the dress and she opens her present and she's got 2 tickets to the theatre, and then the next shot. Out of nowhere, Daddy Pig is dressed up to the nines.
He's got a tux on.
He's got his tux on, like he's about to attend the Oscars.
That's a full bat pole sort of move, that isn't it? It's just We've talked about how they've managed to get their boots on all of a sudden when there's muddy boots to be around, but he's managed to just sort of, I don't know whether he's just pulled his t-shirt off and he was in a full. Tuxedo underneath, or he's just that quick. He's just that good. Perhaps he's got one of those t-shirts that actually looks like you're wearing a tux.
Yeah, maybe that's just what he's wearing. It's actually not that classy at all. But and then he does a little. He straightens the bow tie, and then he's wearing the top hat that we had in dress up.
Yeah.
So we made the whole thing about going, when is Daddy Pig ever going to wear a top hat? And then they showed us because he basically had a top hat on 2 episodes later.
Yeah, wasn't that hat a little bit more rounded at the top? The other hat, it was.
I'll have to go back and check.
Yeah.
I'll have to. Well, I mean, it was on George, who's got who's a lot smaller, but yeah. So Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig dressed up to the nines.
They look beautiful.
Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig is just being as smooth as you can get. He's just dropping the compliments and telling Mummy Pig how beautiful she looks and
which she does.
Which she does, and there's some smoochies going on as well.
Which the kids are quite excited about, which I don't know if that's how things go down in your house, but it's pretty much like on the 2 or 3 times a year where I get to kiss my wife. They they do think it's quite hilarious.
I don't think it's actually really commented on. Actually, now that I think about it, I'll have to see. Maybe I have to be a bit more blatant, be a bit more obvious. So then they sort of wish Mummy Pig a happy birthday, and that's the end of the episode. So yeah, it's a nice little episode.
Well, it's something has to be pointed out that ostensibly Grandad and Grandma Pig have come to look after the kids, and
Yes.
Mummy and Daddy have taken off. So the whole day is basically, well, unless they're going to a matinee, but even that's a whole morning. Mummy Pig's been waiting outside for them to set that party up.
Yeah, well, that's if they. That's very true because unless they're going to an evening show,
She's literally just had breakfast.
yeah, that's right. Well, she's still got all that cake to eat. So unless maybe Daddy Pig, he's just going to change out to eat the cake and then he'll change back later on for the evening and things. But I don't know the logistics of it. We'll never know. We'll never know how it goes. But definitely a fun little episode. We certainly the things have picked up after the mid-season slump that we talked about. So I was very happy when we went through these episodes. I was like, we've really got some good stuff here. Any closing thoughts on this one, mate?
No, I thought that was a very true to life Mummy's birthday, with just a few things that are a little bit fanciful for me anyway.
You wouldn't bust out the tux?
No, I wouldn't bust out the tux. Me and Karina do very much like the theatre, but and yeah, I could not cook a cake that good. So.
Well, you've got the next birthday to aim towards.
Yeah, that's what the cheesecake shop's for.
Right. Well, if you want to catch us on the socials, you can get us at Peppa Pig Pod. Thanks for all the downloads. Thanks for all the nice tweets and following us on the social medias and so on and so forth. We'll be back next time with, I think it's the Tooth Fairy, I believe. I'm just trying to find, I've got the little list here. The Tooth Fairy.
It is.
So we'll look forward to that one. So thanks again, Matt.
Thank you, Josh, and good night, my little piggies.
Yeah, we're playing a tune and we're singing a song with a bang and a bong and a bang. Bong, bang, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo. Bong, bing, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bangly, bongly, boo.